already yours. So I invite you just to settle in wherever you are. Get comfortable. Close your outer eyes if that feels good, or just soften your gaze. Just being able to turn away from all that's going on in the world, all that happened before, all that's going to happen after this, just to take this moment, this good God moment. Take some deep breaths. Breathe in, turning your head to the left. Breathing out, coming back to center. Breathing in, turn your head to the right. Breathing out, come back to center. And so now just listening to the music, getting quiet, getting still, finding that peace within. All is well, and all shall be well. I invite you to come back into the room, being very gentle with yourself, holding on to whatever came up in that quiet pause. I thank you for setting the stage for yourself as well as us for what comes next. And we'll meet again at 10:15. Thanks.
Streaming. Thank you very much. It's great to be with all of you today on this, the last Sunday of 2024. Okay, woo! Why not? Oh, so for those of you who may not know me, my name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I have the honor and privilege of being this community's spiritual director. We are a spiritual community that honors all paths and promotes global transformation through the power of individual transformation. We're a spiritual community that can support you as you strive to experience a personal relationship with the divine, a spiritual community where you are respected and accepted just for being who you are, and a spiritual community that offers loving support as you grow into your highest and best self. No matter where you are on your path, we are here for you. We welcome you. We honor you. And you are always have a home here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. We're part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living, which has approximately 450 centers, teaching chapters, and special focus ministries in 30 countries worldwide. Centers for Spiritual Living is a practical and positive philosophy, faith, and way of life whose vision is a world that works for all. So I thank you again so very much for being here today. I am pleased to announce our Wednesday evening services for 2025, and they are called the Wednesday Experience. A look at life through meditation, musings, metaphysics, and magic. Each week, the evening will be facilitated by a host of ministers, practitioners, and others, and the service will once again be held on Zoom from 7 o'clock to 8:15. It's very interactive with opportunity for sharing and being with each other in community from the comfort of your own homes on Wednesday evening. I would like to thank Marianne Atwell Hardy for her beautiful meditation, which enlarged the container that our service will unfold within. So thank you very much, Marianne. And I would now love to invite up the Honorable Sean Shockey for our announcements. Good. Sean.
Please consider joining us for one or more of our New Year's services. Both of them will be held at 4 Points by Sheraton at 1300 Clarence Circle in Mooresville. Please RSVP at info@trianglecsl.org. On New Year's Eve, we will host a special evening of an inspirational message, meditation, music, and ritual. We join together in community to say goodbye to 2024 and welcome in 2025 in a very powerful way. The service begins at 6. On New Year's Day, we will be facilitating our annual visioning and vision board workshop. Be prepared to download your highest and best for the new year. Start now by gathering up any magazines you may have lying around to use in the process. We will supply all the other necessary materials. So please RSVP at info@trianglecsl.org so we know how many people will be attending. We will begin the visioning at 12 and following that with the creation of our vision boards from 1 until 3. Okay? Because of the holidays, there will be no Wednesday evening service on New Year's Day. From this moment on, January 2025 will be known as Bring a Friend, Share the Joy Month. The invitation is for each of us to invite at least one friend to join us for at least one Sunday service. The more friends on more Sundays, the better. Each Sunday, we will hold a raffle for the guests and a raffle for the host. There will be other giveaways for all. After every service, we will also be holding a special event. For example, lunch bunch on the first Sunday, rap with the Rev on the second Sunday, bingo with John Carnes on the third Sunday, and a prayer workshop on the fourth. Mark your calendars and reach out to some friends for Bring a Friend, Share the Joy January. Please welcome Mary Ann Atwell Hardy back to the podium.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The theme for the year 2024, which is almost gone, is a grand rising. I cannot see this. Our theme for the month of December is sticking the landing. And Rev Dusty's message today is expanding at the top. Now I'm going to read this community's purpose statement, which is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. So now I invite you to just take a moment, get quiet, get comfortable wherever you are, and just listen to the sound of the crystal bowls all the way to the end. With reverence and peace, I invite you to bring your attention back into the room. The Center for Spiritual Living honors both the truth that we are all created by God out of the same God stuff, and that there is a multiplicity of divine emanations, each individualized and unique in their own way as represented by this ceremony. Please welcome Larry Shockey, who will help us. Whether this is your first time with us or your 1,000th time or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you are in the room physically or participating via technology or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether your soul is full of joy and possibility or your heart is heavy and your mind is consumed with troubles or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you are brand new to the science of mind philosophy, or you've practiced it for a long time, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether your skin, eye, and hair color are a rich, dark shade, or you're the palest tint of color, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you are a straight cisgender man or woman, or you identify with the LGBTQ plus community, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether your politics tends towards the red side or towards the blue side, or something in between, you're loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you were born and raised in this country or came from a different land, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you are married or single or somewhere in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you're in the first third of your life, the third third of your life, or somewhere in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Whether you feel your connection with God is the driving force in your life, or you aren't sure that you even believe in God, or something in between, you are loved and accepted here, just as you are. Each and every color is beautiful, unique, and significant. They all combine together in an amazing whole. Thank you all for contributing your special vibration to today's service and to life itself. Thanks, Larry. And so it is. So I invite you to just close your eyes. I just want to say a word of blessing on our service today. This is that time of year that's the pause between the hubbub of Christmas and the hope of the new year. And that pause is exactly where God seems to be the easiest to hear, to see, to experience. God is always there. God is always there, every place you can imagine, as there is nothing in this world that God hasn't created. And as I know that I am one with this pause, and as Mother Teresa said, I am merely the pencil in God's hands. So it's true for each one of us. We are the pencil in God's hands, which is a beautiful thought, that we can surrender, we can let go. God is in charge. So I just want to say a word of blessing on Heather, our technology guru who set the room up so beautifully. say a word on our musicians, Miles and Letha Costin, with their energy, their yes to serenading us today. Larry and Sean Shockey for helping with the service. And to our own Rev Dusty, who has the biggest pencil of all today, and will let those words come right through her. And I thank each person in the room for being here to add their energy, their love, their Christ consciousness to the service that will unfold. And so I just ask you to say with me, and so it is. Today's reading is from Amy McTeer. She says, first, let's get clear about why we're not here. Though we're here to get along, we're not here to go along. We're not here to blend in or disappear or make decisions based on fear. We're not here to be invisible or miserable, inaudible or unseen, cogs in someone else's machine, whether corporate, cultural, or anything in between. We're not here to live shallow, to swallow our voice, or to believe that following what matters to us most is not a choice. We did not come to live almost, to sing someone else's song, or to take someone else's ride by suppressing the dreamer inside. We're not here to be careless, destructive, or needy, to prolong suffering, increase the ranks of the greedy. We're not here to stand alone, nor here to be chained, powerless, apathetic, or unable to change. We are here on a mission. We're here on duty. We're here for mastery, excellence, and beauty. We're here to heal from our temporary amnesia and remember our purpose as human beings, to assume our role in the universe's great one turning. We're here to take chances and claim what matters, to let inner vision inform decision, to fail, begin again, and revision. We are here to free the dreamer inside, to thrive, to rise, to collaborate, to cooperate, and actualize. We're here to fill our own shoes, create the world we would choose, and let the beauty we love be what we do. Beautiful, beautiful. And speaking of Miles and Letha, here they are.
Lord, I'm wading deep waters, trying to get home. Lord, I'm wading deep waters, trying to get home. Well, I'm wading deep waters, wading deep waters, wading deep waters, trying to get home. Well, I'm walking deep valleys, trying to get home. Lord, I'm walking deep valleys trying to get home. Well, I'm walking deep valleys, walking deep valleys, walking deep valleys trying to get home. I'm climbing high mountains trying to get home. Well, I'm climbing high mountains trying to get home. Well, I'm climbing high mountains, climbing high mountains. Well, I'm climbing high mountains trying to get home. I'm wading deep waters trying to get home. I'm wading deep waters trying to get home. Wading deep waters, wading deep waters. Lord, I'm wading deep waters trying to get home. Trying to get home. Trying to get home. Trying to get home. Lord, I'm home.
That was beautiful. Thank you so very much. I loved it. Welcome to those of you who may have just come into the room or turned on your television sets at home. Over the course of this month, we have been looking at spiritual principles, ideas, beliefs, and practices that allow us to be able to stick the landing. Those spiritual principles, ideas, beliefs, and practices that really allow us to be firmly grounded in the truth as we complete this year of a grand rising. As we do so, we are encouraged to take all that we have learned this year and to rise up into a new year, and to do so looking forward to what is next. There's an old Zen saying that says, when you get to the top of the mountain, keep climbing. After all of the conversations that we've had, the ideas that we have dived deeply into, the questions that we have asked, the answers that have come to us, the shifts that we have made, the old patterns that we have let go of, and all of the principles that we have embodied, we are invited to keep climbing, to keep growing, to keep evolving, to continue to keep becoming that which we were created to be. While it is comfortable to stay with the old, the tired, and the true, none of this can happen if we are stuck in the comfortable. While the principles and the mountains stay the same, our relationship to them changes as our minds and our hearts and our consciousness and our wisdom expands. Today we complete the month and the year of Sundays by talking about 3 more ideas that are very integral to the science of mind, philosophy, faith, and way of life. Ideas that were often spoken of by Ernest Holmes. Now, ideas that really open a vista from that mountaintop and really point us in the direction of consciously and consistently moving forward. Now, those 3 ideas are: principle is not bound by precedent, that we should really um, be for something and against nothing, and that we should be open at the top. So we'll begin with principle is not bound by precedent. The bottom line is that we are supported by an underlying foundational truth that principle is not bound by precedent. By principle, I mean God, the divine, spirit, first cause, as Ernest Holmes would call it, the thing itself. But it goes by many different names, but whatever name we choose to call it, spirit is not bound by what has happened before. Precedent. It is not bound by what has happened before. It creates from its own essence. And its own essence has no past and no future. It is always and only ever in the present now moment. The divine is not bound by what it has produced or what it has created in the past. It is unconditioned. And because we were created in its image and likeness, then we too are unconditioned. We are not bound by what has happened before. We are not bound by precedents. Nothing in our past beliefs, or our past experiences bind us to anything. A clean slate is always possible. Always. But in order to experience it, we have to be willing to end what needs to end. So often we carry stuff with us, right? We carry it with us in our hearts, we carry it in our minds, we carry it in our consciousness. We carry the things that we know have already ended. We might just be going through the motions to keep the relationship or the job or the project, even though we're not really very engaged in it anymore. We're not really invested in it anymore. We have to be able to release and to let go of those things which no longer serve us. Most of us can hold on to things for far too long, which tighten us up physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Holding on to that all the time locks us into the pain, locks us into the hurt, locks us into the fear, which interfere with our ability to be able to move forward. We have to be willing to give away that which we no longer need. This is really about decluttering or simplifying our lives. Everything we own, particularly if it is unused and stashed away in a back closet somewhere or in a storage unit, weighs on us energetically and adds complexity to what we think or what we feel or what we do. We have to be willing to fix what is broken or throw it out. The invitation is for each of us to think about our homes or our cars or our garages and to think about if there's anything on them or in them that needs to be fixed. And if it needs to be fixed, we need to fix it or we need to get rid of it. All those things that we've had on a to-do list, right? You know what I'm talking about. All those things we've had on a to-do list forever and ever and ever. They really clog up that to-do list. And the only thing we ever do with them is we move them to a new version of the to-do list when we write that one. We endlessly shuffle them from one to the next, and they become a source of annoyance. We got an amen. They become a source of annoyance for us, and they energetically zap our vitality. We have to be willing to catch up on what needs to be caught up on. Think about the pile of photographs that have been sitting in a box someplace that are just waiting to be filed, right? Or sorted or digitalized. Think about all of the friends that you have said that you're going to get in touch with that you haven't gotten in touch with yet. Think about that filing cabinet that's in the garage that has tons of documents in it that you haven't even looked at for the last 10 years. That one was for me. It's easy to ignore the pull that they have on us because every day we have so many other things that are pulling on us, right? So many other more pressing matters to attend to in the moment, but the truth is they're still there. They're still there. They haven't gone anywhere. They're still haunting us and stressing us out. They make us feel rushed because we believe that there will never be enough time to do it all. Being willing to do all of these things opens us up so that there might be space for the new, so that there might be space for the next, so that there might be space for the fresh. Having a clean slate allows us to move forward into this brand new year, expanding at the top with confidence. The second idea is we are to be for something and against nothing. In Ernest Holmes' pretty famous talk called Sermon by the Sea, he says, "Find me one person who is for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of their soul, and I will find another Savior, another Jesus, and another exalted human being." So take a quick moment, right, and think about your life. In general, do you experience yourself as being for something, or do you experience yourself as being against something? In general, are you typically pushed by the things that you don't like, or pushed by the things that are challenging in your life? Or are you pulled by a vision of something good? Pulled by a vision of something that you would love, absolutely love to experience in your life? Can you feel the distinction in that? Often when we are against something, we're actually lending our energy to the very thing that we don't want to have happen, because that's where we're putting all of our attention and all of our intention. Being for peace rather than against war focuses all of our attention and all of our intention on the outcome that we actually want to have happen. The same thing applies when we think about whether we are moving toward our dreams or whether we are moving away from something because we want to avoid it. Running to something always takes us to a better place. Running away from something just causes us to recreate the unhealed experience in some other place. Being for and moving towards are positive, expansive kinds of actions, positive or expansive kinds of energy. But being against and seeking to avoid are both contracting or negative kinds of emotions. So the challenge for us is that we have been consistently fighting against the way things are. Individually and collectively, we do this. We fight against the poverty, the injustice, the war, the disenfranchisement, the fear, the hate, the senseless killing, all of the isms and the prejudice. And really, very little has changed. We have spent too much time fighting anger with anger, or hatred with hatred, or judgment with judgment, or cruelty with cruelty. If we want the world to change, we have to stop our reliance on such harsh or outdated modes of being in our lives. Now, I've told this story before, but bringing up Mother Teresa, that Marianne did, there's a story that speaks to this. And apparently she was invited to speak at a rally against war. And when she replied back to the request, she said, "I'm sorry, but I cannot speak at a rally against war. But when you have a rally for peace, I would absolutely love to be included." When we live our lives from that context, we have different conversations. We ask different questions, we make different choices, and we show up in different ways. And because of all of that, we get very different outcomes. Being for something is more in alignment with the universe in which we live and move and have our being. A much better way to live our lives. Now, I know that I'm preaching to the choir, but I think we all need some reminders every once in a while. And I'm sure that if each and every single one of us were honest with ourselves, we may have to admit that we are holding somebody out of our hearts. Maybe not vehemently, but with a little bit of our hearts with criticism and judgment. Right? Maybe not with righteous anger, but some disdain. Maybe not with actual war, but without any real desire to really come together, or for there to be any kind of reconciliation, or for us to really recognize the common ground. I know that our vision of a world that works for all will not work unless we do the inner work, unless we do the inner and the outer work, really, in order to really be a space and place of love and light in our own lives and in the lives of our communities. Doing the inner work can simply mean really asking ourselves questions like, where am I against something? Where am I against something, and how can I change where I'm coming from to actually be for something instead of being against something? Where am I doing that in my own life? Or is there some place in my life where I am running from rather than running to? Some of us might be sitting here thinking, Dusty, what the heck? What the heck? Do we just sit back and let circumstances unfold in front of us that are breaking our hearts? Do we ignore the pain of others and watch the world around us as it teeters on the brink of perceived disaster? Again, that's what Ernest Holmes continued on in that quote to say, "Find me one person who no longer has any fear of the universe or in God or of man or of anything else, and you will have brought to me someone in whose presence we may sit, and fear shall vanish as clouds before the sunlight." So in other words, the invitation is to really return back to source. Return back to our awareness of who and what we are. Return back to home. To get back home. And to really be fearless in our seeking, be fearless in our ability to be for something rather than against something. Be fearless in our ability to seek what we want to see in the world and not fight against what we might perceive we are seeing. Let go of everything else. Keep focused on that vision of who we want to be and the life we want to live. Be for something. The invitation is for us to get involved and to work to change the world into a place that we really want to live in. Always remember, however, that the primary place in which we all live and move and have our being is in our own hearts, in our own minds, in our own consciousness, and we have dominion over that. We have dominion over that. We can really decide how we want to populate that, right? The thoughts that we're letting in, the thoughts that we're speaking out. We have dominion over that, regardless of what's going on in the outside. We can choose. We can choose to be for something rather than against something. So the invitation is to really focus on that, the highest and best of all of us. And to do this, we really have to be for something rather than against something. The third and final idea is open at the top. Open at the top is a phrase that's often associated with Ernest Holmes, and his teachings really emphasize the idea that one's mind should be open to new possibilities, to new ideas, to reflect an openness to growth and to change and to spiritual evolution. The concept of being open at the top really encourages continual learning. It encourages self-discovery. It encourages self-improvement. It encourages receptivity to higher wisdom. Really being receptive to hearing our own inner divine wisdom. Ernest Holmes says we have to keep our minds open at the top for a new influx of wisdom. And we have to set up a sign which says, stop, look, and listen. Does this idea that I believe in measure up to the truth? Right? For there are certain inevitabilities that the ages have declared to be true. The bottom line is that we can learn new things every single day, and we do, through medical and mental and emotional and physical research that's constantly being done. The unfolding ideas of quantum physics, new advances in technology, and the new revelations that we can experience through that divine wisdom that is always flowing through us. When we are open at the top, we can recognize and accept new thoughts and new revelations and new teachings. And we have that ability to discern. We have the ability to discern whether any particular thought or teaching works for us and the world that we're living in. We don't have to, like when we were kids, just buy into anything that we're told or anything that we read, right? We can discern. Now, I believe that Ernest Holmes' story, that the history of science of mind itself speaks to being open at the top. Even though many of Ernest Holmes' most dedicated students wanted him to really set up an organization into a corporation. He initially did not want to do that. He initially resisted the idea, feeling that being an organization would be restrictive. He insisted on the necessity of individual freedom everybody being able to really, take in the belief, take in what was being taught and to prove it to themselves, right? So he said that infinite truth was not the exclusive property. It was not the exclusive property of any one group of people or any one religion or any one faith tradition, that his teaching was not a final revelation. Finally, in February 1927, 20 years after he first began his path, he incorporated the Institute of Religious Science and the School of Philosophy as a nonprofit religious and educational organization. As the organization took form, however, Ernest made it clear that the founding of the institution was not intended to promote religious science as a cure-all religion. He still wanted it to be open at the top. That it wasn't the be-all and end-all, that he wanted us to prove it to ourselves and to use it in our lives and to see what could happen, what could change. He wouldn't allow anyone to regard the Science of Mind message as infallible. He said, religious science is short of dogmatism, freed from superstition, and open at the top for greater illumination, unbounded and free. Unbounded and free. The fundamental truth is that there is a divine urge within every single one of us to know more and to be more and to express more. The drive, that urge, cannot be restricted. It will continue to keep urging. It will continue to keep seeking. It will continue to keep knocking on the door of our consciousness until we open ourselves up to the unlimited possibilities that are always there and always available to each and every single one of us. It will continue to keep urging. It will continue to keep seeking. It will continue to keep knocking at the door of our consciousness until we expand at the top into our highest and best self, to become all that we came here to be. As spiritual beings having a human incarnation, we're always being called into a higher state of consciousness. There's a greater yet to be for each one of us. We're divine manifestations of God. God's infinite power and possibility are at our core. We can always choose to lean into that. As Amy McTeer said in today's reading, we are not here to go along or to blend in or to disappear or to make choices out of fear. We are here to grow and to evolve and to expand into that which we have never been before. She goes on to say, we're not here to be invisible or miserable or inaudible or unseen or cogs in someone else's machine. I believe that we're here to grow and evolve and expand into that which we have never been before. She says, we're not here to live shallow or to swallow our voice or to believe that following what matters most to us is not a choice. No, I believe that we are here to grow and to evolve and to expand into that which we have never been before and yet we created to be. So as we complete 2024, whose theme has been a grand rising, I affirm that we, individually and collectively, begin each day with a grand rising, that we will know that we have the power within us to really change the world. that we have within us the ability to bring a new perspective, that we have the ability to use the lessons that we have learned along the way and the wisdom to really be able to grow and evolve and expand and to actually create a world that works for all. And so it is. So it is. So I just invite everyone to close your outer eyes and to turn within. Turn away from the world of form. Turn our attention and intention to that center of our being, that space and place that I call, to recognize that it is the very essence of who and what we are. To know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are divine emanations of the divine, here to be ambassadors of its peace, of its joy, of its creativity, of its love, of its freedom, of its wisdom, of its abundance. Not here to be less than what we are, but here to really step into the fullness of who we are, the fullness of the divinity that we are. I know that I was created by that power and presence in its likeness. And so I know who I am. And I know that it can't just be me. I know that it is every single person, every single sentient being on the planet. We are all one, connected to each other by that golden thread of God stuff. And it's from that place of unity that I speak these words about and for each of us today, truly knowing that there is a way that we can live our life from a space that knows that we are open at the top, that we have choice in the matter, that we can grow, that we can choose, that we can expand through our own inner wisdom, through the wisdom external, and our discernment. I claim and know for each of us that there's a way to live our life in which we are for something rather than against something. That when we do so, we show up really wonderful and open and receptive and caring and kind and welcoming ways. That we listen, we are curious and not shut down, not with walls up, but really open and available to everything and everyone. That there are ways to live our life from the space of knowing who and whose we are. And when we do so, there's an allness of possibility that surrounds us, that indwells within us, and we are aware of it, conscious of it, leaning into it, accepting it, welcoming it, and that our lives are forever changed by our willingness, our yes to all that life has to offer. I claim ease and grace around all of this for each and every single one of us. Recognizing that as we complete this year, 2024, we can powerfully step into 2025, welcoming it, curious as to how it is going to unfold, and always, always keeping our mind, our intention, our hearts, our attention on that which we want, on that which is the highest and best for everyone. And to know, and then from that space, co-create that world which we really, really want to live in. So for all of my awareness, I'm grateful for all that this year has provided to each and every single one of us, for all the principles and the practices that we have talked about over this year of a grand life. I know that our lives have been enriched and changed by this community, by being on this path together. And I just invite each of us to repeat this prayer for ourselves, for our communities, for the world's blessing. And so it is. Amen. Amen. So, thank you all so very much. It is now time for our conscious giving. This is a time every week when we offer financial support to this community to continue to be a beacon of light and warmth and love in the greater Triangle area. There are 3 ways that you can give, and they're here on your screen or on your screens at home. You can visit our website at trianglecsl.org. You can text the word give to 919-629-9148, or you can actually mail a check to PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. So now in this moment, I invite you to take your gift and place it against your heart with perhaps an affirmation for yourself or for someone else, and to repeat our offering affirmation in the call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. So it is. Now, thank you all for your generosity, and please now be generous with your welcoming Miles and Letha back to the stage.
Well, I have heard this song my entire life, I feel like, and I had no idea it had a spiritual message connected to it. You're going to know it too, and we hope that you'll help us with the chorus at least. You might have to clap a little bit and get excited, but we'll
Jump up and dance if you need to.
The mountain is high, the valley is low, and you're confused about which way to go. So I've come here to give you a hand and lead you into the promised land. So come on and take a free ride. Come on and sit here by my side. Come on and take a free ride. All over the country, I've seen it the same. Nobody's winning at this kind of game. We've got to do better. It's time to begin. 'Cause you know the answers must come from within. So come on and take a free ride. Come on and sit here by my side. Come on and take a free ride.
All right, on that note, I'll take a free ride. That's right. Okay, if anyone would like prayer, please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. And on the home page, there's a button at the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We'll get that prayer and send it out to all the ministers and practitioners. That's what our community is for. Support you. If anyone would like to dedicate a flower dedication to anyone or for anything, please contact Heather Abbott at info@trianglecsl.org or Rev Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. So now, in the room, I invite each of you to stand up, and in the comfort of your own home, you can stand. For a December affirmation, this is the last time you'll hear it. It's a call and response, so please repeat it with meaning. Since spirit is all there is, my work is to increase my understanding of and alignment with that infinite presence.
Since spirit is all there is, my work is to increase my understanding of and alignment with that infinite presence.
As I do so, I connect ever more deeply with spirit and open myself to the flow of its fire.
As I do so, I connect ever more deeply with spirit and open myself to the flow of its fire.
As I allow the fire of spirit to move me, I rise to new levels of joy and love.
As I allow the fire of spirit to move me, I rise to new levels of joy and love.
As I recognize the ever-present light within me and let it shine, my own light becomes brighter.
As I recognize the ever-present light within me and let it shine, my own light becomes brighter.
As my own light becomes brighter, I light up the lives of others just by being who I am.
As my own light becomes brighter, I light up the lives of others just by being who I am.
As I complete this year of a grand rising, I look forward to what's next and loudly proclaim yes to life.
As I complete this year of a grand rising, I look forward to what's next and loudly proclaim yes to life.
And so it
And
is.
so it is.
So you all can have a seat and just turn within one more time. Just saying a word of thanksgiving for this service, that reminder that we are nothing but the pencil in God's hands. And the more we can let go of the clutter, the more we can let go of what does not serve any longer, that pencil can flow with our intention, whatever that is for next year. That intention to be the highest and best version of ourselves, to be for a world that works for everyone, and to do it with grace and ease, because that is the power each one of us has flowing through us at all times. So in grateful thanksgiving, I release these words, knowing that it's the truth. And I ask you to say with me, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you all so very much for being here today, for joining us from your homes. Really consider joining us for New Year's Eve, 6 o'clock here at 4 Points by Sheridan for our New Year's Eve celebration. It's really filled with lots of music and ritual, and really a lovely way to close down 2024 and bring in 2025. And then on New Year's Day, 12 o'clock here for visioning, and then the vision board process. So join us for that workshop. If you aren't able to come or are choosing not to, have a great, great evening. Be safe out there, and we'll see you in the new year. Thank you all. I love you.